gamers, gals, and my non-binary pals. We're back again after like 10 billion years of me being offline. Who would have guessed that not having a stream schedule is very consistent, or having a stream schedule that basically revolves around the cycle of a game and anything newsworthy in general? Who could have foreseen that that might not lead to most consistent video posting of all time? But today's a pretty important week. That's because Ycs Anaheim took place, and Ycs Anaheim was a very interesting event. The first thing I want to note, I will just say this right away. I'm a hater of Yu-Gi-Oh! I think that Yu-Gi-Oh! Has so many fundamental issues with its game design. I think it's got issues with the people who run the company. I think that the player base can be kind of weird. I think that the card design has 500 different issues with it. But I will admit, this Ycs Anaheim was a grand slam comparatively, compared to other Yu-Gi-Oh events. Let's not pretend this is like 2024 Worlds, you know what I mean? But it was a great event. I was at Anaheim, not like on the venue or anything like that. I was in like J-Town for most of the day, but I was in Anaheim. And I was getting like live updates from like my friends and stuff. Apparently the venue was great. The casters had a lot more ability to just be like goofy and silly and have fun. It was pretty well attended. It was about like 1,500 people, as well as the fact that a YouTuber won it. Triff. Okay, does Triff have questionable opinions at times? Yes. Is Triff really into drop shipping featuring Andrew Tate? Maybe. But you do have to admit at a certain point that even though he may be a fan of the broken clock twice a day incarnate Andrew Tate occasionally, and like whatever past behaviors you may feel that he has, he is definitely someone that the Yu-Gi-Oh community kind of unanimously loves. They kind of unanimously looks up to. Most people, if you asked them about their opinions about Triff, they'd be like, yeah, he's kind of silly, he's goofy, he's like a showman, and just like a very fun guy to watch overall. And when you consider the fact that he was just grinding out after like 6 months of being away, like fucking around in Cuba and directing real estate video trailers, he just came back, locked in, grinded out 1,500 games over the course of like 2 months, just non-stop grinding Ryziel, and now he's in there like swimwear. Remote YCS is very fun so far. Yes, good job, Triff. Am I blocked? I just noticed I'm blocked. What the fuck? Anyways, what's also cool about this event was that it was very clear that NA finally got the opportunity to just dick around the same way European YCSs were allowed to. It's kind of been like this running joke where European YCSs are just infinitely better than NA ones, and that European YCSs are just better production, better run, since the casters are able to do like 500 different more things compared to like the US casters. But it really does seem like after like so much feedback and so much love for the European streams, and like everyone complaining after like 10 billion years of making 500 YouTube essays about like why Fuelos is evil and like secretly the Antichrist, it's become very apparent that Konami is just like, alright, finally, like, okay, go North America, you could basically do whatever the fuck you want. And I think it's really cool. I think that that's been great. I think that the way how they did the ban list announcement was really cool. Whatever opinions you may have about the ban list, that's up to you, but that's just me. But overall, like, this was just a very well run event. It was a very successful event, and it seems like a lot more people are finally starting to give this format a chance, even if it may cost like $1 bajillion. Like, oh my god, this deck is so expensive. That is like the one thing that like I will complain about forever in regards to like this format or like the Yu-Gi-Oh as a whole. Yu-Gi-Oh seems to be like in a really good spot. I have opinions about the Snake Eye format that we had for like the past 9 months, and I was definitely not a fan of it back then, and still not really a fan of 100% a fan of what the format looks like right now, because Snake Eye still technically exists, but you know, we don't really know. It might pan out in a good way. But it is very interesting to look at like this very cool open format of like, yeah, like Memento kind of playable. There's Voiceless, Snake Eye, Fiendsmith, Yubel, Malice, Labyrinth to an extent, Tenpai, Ryziel, like so many different decks that play very differently from each other. And it's just completely gatekept by the fact that some of these decks have so many expensive staples, or their cores are just that expensive. Like the Malice cards, like I know these cards literally just dropped, but like White Rabbit, $50. Malice and Underground, $42. As well as like, you know, just generic side staples like Fuolos and like Thrust. I know it went down a little bit. Oh my god, Perulia. Perulia's $81, by the way. Why? How? God fucking hates you. That's why. And like, let's not pretend like Ryzeal is any cheaper. X, $33. Ice, $32. Sword, $31. Node, 12 cents. Smile. This is so expensive. This is like $100, $200. This is a $300 core. That's fucked up. No core should cost that much. But Ycs Anaheim, but like when you actually look at the data of like player attendance, is people are starting to bounce back and people are starting to like have more fun in like this very open format, and like fire's finally being like phased out, and like we're finally getting like interesting decks. It does kind of feel that Yu-Gi-Oh is starting to, you know, kind of come back a little bit. I'll be happy to give it to Konami whenever they hit the little dubs every now and then. And Ycs Anaheim is definitely like the first step in a nice ongoing trend of Konami maybe finally starting to pay attention to their players. Shout out to Nicholas, by the way. This poor guy. Oh my god, he was main decking Ultimate Slayer. What a freak. But ultimately, I thought this event was great. I thought it was great. I thought it was well run. I thought that the feature matches were good. I thought that the commentary was good. I thought that the production was... Okay, we don't talk about the production value, but you know, they did their best. And overall, just a very fun event. 10 out of 10. Would rate again. Anyways, if you guys were at Anaheim, let me know how your experience was. And if you weren't, let me know in the comment section down below what your guys' thoughts are for the future of competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Because this may be surprising, but for once in my life on my channel, I'm actually a little bit hopeful. Am I coping? Am I hopeful? Who knows? Only time may tell. Thank you guys for watching.